Feel the love. This is Waterberg FM 99.3.
Le tsa technique di utlwa gore re tshwere ka matsatsi la gompieno me re tswela pele ka tshilaganya matsatsi la gompieno o tsenka kwano Perseverance Maremeni madam speaker we pizza jalo CEO of Self Love Percy
Dumela, how are you?
Good thing. Fela go tshimolo go mphoisi ke itumetse gore bo dumetse go ka tla ka bona manna khale ke go batla bana
Heish,
ke go bola re ke go batlile from last year ke ntse ka I want Percy
booked a bees.
gore ke itumela go matsa sila gompieno bile ba khona go ka fitla ka kwano me fela go tshimolo go ka tsogona le moretsi o ka tsonga re na re ga le ba ka Perseverance Maremeni di ba ka ma
Perseverance Maremeni, village girl from Mashamba village. I Mashamba village, very close to Ilim. If you don't know where Ilim is, it's within the Makado municipality. And then I came to stay in the Parallel, I think that was in 2010. I've been here since 2010. So literally in Wanamu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me Percy re bona o le busy mo mafaratlhatlheng re bona jalo o etsa phapang o ira dilo tse di matshetse mo mafaratlhatlheng re bone fa o tsa jalo YouTube Black class of 2023
Yeah.
re bolelle ganyenyane ka that
Yo,
ha re bitsa ga batho especially ba golo ga ba itse na ga te go YouTube Black what go bua kae.
Yeah, actually it's not only about Holo, they don't know anything about YouTube Black. I for one did not know anything about YouTube Black until I was selected to be part of YouTube Black. YouTube Black is an initiative by Google where they pick black content creators because we still think that doing content is a attention seeking.
Yeah.
We think a job is waking up and coming to Waterberg FM, but when you create content on your phone, then urata attention, urata like you are just playing. And some people are actually doing that, only that, and they're making more money than the two of us combined. So what Google then did was that it started this initiative so that people can now start understanding that content creation is actually a job title. And then they wanted to empower black people because this content creation. And then it's a global initiative because all the classes that they've ever selected, because it started in 2021, where they pick black content creators and they empower them. So it's a fund, but it's more like a scholarship type of thing because they empower you as a black content creator so that you can come and level up with your counterparts of other races. To actually so that we can come and be on the same level in terms of content creation and taking it as serious as it is. So because they know where we come from disadvantaged backgrounds, they then fund that project or that initiative so that black content creators across the world can at least get a chance to empower themselves or get empowered so that their content creation journey can be like that of their counterparts, right? So this initiative, I think every year they take more or less 150, 200. This year is the biggest class that they've ever taken, where they took, I think we're 170 something across the globe. Okay. With different type of a niche or the style of content that we do, and then they empower us. We attend seminars, we attend all these things. They have funding available for us so that we can at least grow as content creators. I for one, because I only recently celebrated 1 year of being on YouTube. I knew nothing about. If you can check my content even now, it's still you can tell already the person who's creating this content is an amateur or is a newbie. You know, I was fairly new when I got selected for YouTube Black class of 2023. I didn't even know what it was about. I only went and studied about it after I was selected. Then I realized, there are big people like Bo McG, there are big people like Bo Offense Moase and Nelisi Moase, there are big people like Bo Lidwaba, when they call it Mashile, Bo Lasizwe. These are people that are coming from those programs, study YouTube Black. It's only then that I realized, hey, actually this is a big deal. This is a global thing. I'm no longer just a local champion, you know, I'm rubbing shoulders with big people now. So that means that I'm literally, whether you like me or not, I have to represent you on a global stand. Yeah. Oh yes. The same twins.
Yes.
They are part of YouTube Black class of 2023 as well. So we're in the same class.
Perseverance are nyana ko morago. Ke gopola sentle ga o simolla jalo ka YouTube ke lebeletse your life on YouTube. Mo ntsore ga ke itse gore ke utlwala sentle. No bontsha gore ke gone o simollang. Ke ntse se rotloeditseng Perseverance gore a tsene jalo mo lantsa YouTube.
For me, YouTube does not feel like a job. Like I said, or initially, Google wants us to take content creation as a serious job. But then when you're passionate about what you're doing, it doesn't feel like a job. So for me, I love to talk. I love to record my thoughts. So it started as that, as a thing or a platform where, because initially I started on TikTok, right, where I would just do short form videos, but then it was the people who actually sent me to YouTube because they were saying, listen, your videos are too short, your videos are not long enough, so we want these in-depth conversations. And also because I do like hectic lives, like really, you know, serious lives on TikTok, they wanted that to be on YouTube so that they can go and binge watch. Because if you can check most of my lives that I do on most of the content that I post on YouTube, it's content that I streamed on TikTok where there's a lot of engagement for me. Then I take that and I post it on YouTube for those who, when you are late, you are always the one who's reviewing content from last year. So yeah, for people who didn't get a chance to view it as it was excuse me, as it was happening, so they only get to binge watch on it later on.
Perseverance kana gola o na bona gore mara go bua thata go gaka go ka ntsola mosola kgotsa ile fela ntso o record go bona okay, this thing guys are serious.
Talking a lot has always been my thing. I think I got to get the name Madam Speaker a few years back, I think around 2017, 2018, where I just said it in passing that people call me Madam Speaker because I talk a lot. But way before that, even at home, family praise, prose, or I don't know what you call it, calling out the clan names of the family. Yes. I used to be that kid in the family where when there are family gatherings, tombstones and whatnot, I would be the one that does that.
Okay.
I was the kid that was artistic when I was growing up. I used to make clay pots with my grandmother. I've always been a vocal kid. At school, literally, I used to, with my husky voice, I used to lead the morning prayers at school. I used to just be this talkative and bubbly person, and my character has always been too big to contain.
Imagine perseverance re bona fa gore o no bua ka o simolotsa jalo bua ka your divorce batho ba thoma go ka fola itse gore o ikutlwe jang le ge le gore go na le dilo tse dingwe tse dintsi tse le gore batho ba go kgotla ka menwana ba bua tsele le tsele.
I always say that I'm not a people pleaser, and what people have to say about me is none of my business. And then there's a thing that I used to say a lot, even when I was still married, that abantu bazothini syndrome is not my thing, right? But I never really understood what I meant by that until I had to go through a process where you will be judged the most. Like, this is like the last nail on the coffin. It doesn't get worse than this, in terms of you being judged, in terms of you being mocked, in terms of you being turned into just a thing to talk about. This is the biggest. So it had to test that thing that I always used to say, does really abantu bazothini syndrome apply to me or not? And I found out, no, I'm actually bendable. I can stretch. I'm very elastic. I'm very elastic in a sense that my elasticity is infinity and beyond. Because even when these things are happening, it still doesn't stop me from talking. Because if you can check from when I started my content creation journey, I think back in 2020, even then I was as bold. Even then I was as vocal, but I was basing my content on Christianity, right? If you disagree with me, it's fine. If you agree with me, it's fine. But that's not going to shake or move me as an individual. What happens on the outside does not affect me. It's just that because this is one very unusual topic, it drew a lot of attention to me to say, we want to see how far this person will go. We want to see if really this is her character or it's just her chasing clout or anything like that. Amidst of me chasing clout, if I might say, it's clout or whatever it is that people may say I'm doing. But at the end of the day, if this was me acting or if this was me trying to chase a certain thing, I'd be tired by now.
Yeah.
But this is me. I talk. I'm a very vocal person. I'm a very open person. And nobody or nothing is ever going, unless you give me a good reason why I should be able to stop, then I will. Otherwise, I can't.
Yeah. And mama lo benkini kutleletse searema se mo phesi ba bua le mo wa batho ba ba dirang so se dirang ba mmotsa khanya gore a ga gona le kana go ikileng a ikutlwa mario it's like these people are just after me. We are all human beings. Yes. Sometimes we utlwa botlhoko re ya lapa. A ga gona le nako ikileng go ikutlwa le na gore mara maybe ke be ke tlogela man or maybe ke be ke ikhutsanya.
Recently I did a video where I was saying if you look at the people who are usually negative, is their house in order? Like, if you just click on a negative comment which has ever been said to me, check their houses. Is it coming from a pastor who's taking care of his family well, or is it coming from a guy who knows very well that he's a Cinderella and the shoe is fitting? So for me, when I look at the negative comment, I look at who is saying it to me. Because trust me, I take criticism very well when it's coming from a good place and when it's coming from somebody who knows exactly what they're talking about. But when it's coming from somebody who wants to gaslight or somebody who is really in denial of the situation at hand, then I feel for you and I feel that you need me to press more. So it has never been a thing that discourages me, but it actually encourages me to keep doing what I'm doing.
Losing in love.
Yeah.
Or it's the conferences.
Yeah.
From YouTube, from TikTok, from YouTube, stage face to face. Madam Speaker,
the Losing in Love program, because I shared my story openly, boldly, right? A lot of people now started duetting a lot of my videos saying that, listen, I can relate, this is my story, I can relate, this is my story. So every time when I go live, people will just voluntarily come and share their story. So that's how the vision of Losing in Love was born. And I always say that losing in love has absolutely nothing to do with marriage or divorce. Even if you loved your sister, you borrowed your sister money and your sister never gave you the money back, you lost that money in love. If you didn't love your sister, you wouldn't have given her that money. So Losing in Love is a platform that opens up for everybody to share any story that you want to share about anything that you've ever lost in love. And when it comes to me being able to speak publicly or speak in places like conferences, I would like to believe that the last time I came here, I was a worship team leader. I was in the worship team. Speaking in front of people is a thing that I've always been doing, right? So I would like to believe that that was actually preparing me for this day. I was being prepared for a time such as this, right? So now when I stand on a stage and I'm speaking to a lot of women, it is very much fulfilling for me, because when I'm done, not only do I feel like a sense of healing has been transferred, or there's a network of healing that just flows from one place to another, and you can sense the atmosphere in the room to say there's a lot of people who are here and they're wounded and they're broken and they just need that encouraging word to say, listen, it will be okay. I really want to see this person, or this person who is this bold. Does she really exist? Is she really a real human being? And when they see that, for some people that is just enough for them to be encouraged to not give up on life.
A CEO of self-love.
Yeah.
CEO of self-love, because video self-neglect, you always talk to us to know your worth. When I'm kolonya gago dilo tse buang ka tsona o ikutleletse tsona kgotsa a kre nako ngwe khona go bua ka selo se le gore gongwe se shotile fa nako ntsi, and you say to other people, wa bona this thing ga o ka wa e shota nako e tele go tla diragala sena le sele. Ha ke tse o ntlhaloganya sentle.
Yeah, no, I do get kana tswana sinalo. Yeah. Hey. But anyway, yeah, I do get you. CEO of self-love, I would like to just put a disclaimer out there to say I'm still learning.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still learning how to love myself even more than I loved myself yesterday. It's a journey. I could never say I have arrived. I don't think there will ever be a point where I would say I have arrived in this loving myself thing. But I needed to call myself something that I really want to be, so that when I'm working on getting there, then I will know what I've already put pressure on myself, or I've committed to say this is the ultimate goal. I may walk this journey until I die, but at the end of the day, I tried. So what I'm going to be for the rest of my life is the CEO of self-love, even though I'm learning on how to do that every single day.
Where's your perseverance? Busy. Wadira umme wa atlhokometseng bana ba gagwe ka fa o dira jalo di YouTube, di TikTok, ke phela go bona mo koloing gore phesegale mo leetong o nagana something o khona yang go ka balance dilo tsotlhe.
You see, when it comes to videos that I take in the car, that is the only place, because I have kids and my kids are kids. Kids will always be kids. Yeah. So the only comfortable place that I have for me to take videos is in the car, number one. Number two, because I travel a lot. Remember, I'm staying in Lephalale, and all my market and everything is in other provinces except for this province, Limpopo province, right? So I travel a lot, and I enjoy traveling alone because I'm not afraid or scared of being alone. I'm not scared of my own thoughts. In actual fact, I enjoy being in my own zone so that I can get to know myself even better. So when I'm traveling a lot, that's when all the creative juices flow. That's when I get to now think of the things that I think and create the content that I create. In terms of my kids totally understand what is content creation. I'm a very open parent. Like I wish, this other time I did a content where I was jumping on top of the bed with my kids, and I was thinking, I don't remember my mom doing anything like this. But this is parenting, new age parenting, So you involve the kids. My kids have YouTube Kids. So they see what kids are doing on YouTube Kids, YouTube Shorts. So when I say to them, I'm creating a YouTube video, they understand that, listen, this is money. And when we have to go to the shop, I remind them, remember that time when I was doing this video and I said it's money? This is the money. Now we're going to buy with it. So they cooperate in that regard. And because it's a playful thing, content creation is such a juvenile thing, it's easy for them to actually, they enjoy it with me. It's just that I try to limit having them on social media a lot, because since I'm a controversial content creator, they could come for my kids. But from time to time, I could make it a reward for them to be in one of my videos. So it's very easy. In terms of my job, doing my 9 to 5, that one, it's safe, it's secure. With Crown Lioness as well, it's passion. It doesn't feel like a job, it feels like a hobby, you know. So yeah, that's how simple it is.
Since jalo o simolla phesi o dira dilo tso di dirang tse o feletsa o nna a big brand that you are today, e leng gore le gare mmatla re tshwantse re fete ka go gongwe pele. Dikgwetlho tso tsa mmileng wa kopana le tsona ke tse di feng, le gore o kgonne yang gore ka jeko e be ke na le wena ka kwano o smile o le montle ka mokgwa, because batho ba bantsi ga ba kopana dilo tse mo futong tseng jalo ba inela nako nngwe motho wa itswalla, ba bangwe ba tsaya matshelo a bona go nna go ntsi fela, motho feletsa nna depressed kore go ntsi, especially rona batho ba basadi. Jana ke batla tlhaloganya gore perseverance o kgonne yang gore ka jeko a bana le nna.
I think it goes back to that thing ya gore abantu bazontini syndrome is really does not occur in my vocabulary, okay? And I believe that so there are things that you're going through and there are things that I'm going through, so that I can never look at you and see that you are better than me, you understand, regardless of what I'm going through in my life. And also another thing, I accept the reality of my life. When I'm down and out, I will tell you, listen, hey, go dry. Like I'm very quick to bend down when I have nothing. And when I rise, you will see my rise. I always say that when you share your losses, people say you want attention, but when you share your wins, people say you are bragging. But if it feels good for you to do both, then do it. The one thing, oh, sorry about that.
The challenges the challenges tse ko phesi a kopana le tsone gore o bo feletsa go bo fele mo gore o khonne ya le gantse dintse di le teng di kgwetlho tse di challenges
nna ke
rena theletse peditsa ka itsore di ka tsone di dintse
nna ke nna mantwa dumela. You know, I galwa. So when challenges come, I fight. And like I said, because I'm very open, I do talk and say, hey, Wima. I remember year before last, when I was struggling financially. I could give an example. I don't want to put her on the spotlight, the lady who's taking the video for me. I couldn't cope financially. And because I was vocal enough, remember, because I was somebody where I looked like I had it all together and my finances were in order. So when now things were starting to fall apart, had I pretended as if I still had it together, even if I didn't, I was going to drown. So I had to be open to say, hey, girl, you know, things are not adding up. Then what? They ended up having to contribute. My daughter's school fees, she was paying for it. She stopped doing other things of hers so that she can pay my daughter's school fees, so that we can do other things. People were helping me out. Some things I was like, listen, stop us, grocery card. I don't want to do this anymore because I can't survive. Then people by for a long time, they decided to take over and they started paying these things for me. So literally, when times were really tough, what helped me was being able to speak openly. So that's one of the challenges to say. It's the biggest actually, and me having to lose everything, me being able to be a pedestrian. I didn't have a car anymore, so I was walking. So because I didn't have a car, I had to be open to my dad to say, Dad, I need your help. Then my dad borrowed me his car. I drove it for a year and a half before I could bounce back. So literally with all the challenges, like me losing everything and me just having to, and also counseling helps. One thing that has been helping me more than anything is me being able to say I need therapy, because I need somebody to safeguard my mental health while I'm working on regaining my strength and rebuilding my things.
And jalo perseverance re fetsa go pra jalo the results tsa bana ba marematlong tsa tsela gompieno. There are people by leng gore they are looking up to you. Mme ba bangwe ga ba itse gore ba simole jang kgotsa ba dire yang gore ba fitlhe for perseverance a fitlhe teng. O ka ba fa maele a mofuta mang?
It's never too late. I just recently registered for psychology via UNISA. I'm only 34 and I know it's going to take forever for me to get that qualification and that license to practice as a psychologist, but I'm not in a rush because I know what I'm doing in life. I just recently registered with UCT, life coaching and management. That's going to be a very short one, but at my age of 34, somebody's only finishing matric now. follow your dream. And I know that a lot of us are quick to take other people's advices more than the one thing that we want for ourselves. So you end up doing a course because somebody advised you because they know more than you. But what is your instinct saying? That thing is never wrong. That instinct, you have to always listen to it. And as much as I'm going to give you all the advices in the world to say, do this, do that, follow your dream, be confident, go get them. But if you don't want to go get them in the engineering field, then 10 years down the line you're gonna be here sitting like, yes, I should have never listened to that woman. Listen to me, listen to Leseho, listen to Kamohelo, but at the end of the day, what is your instinct saying? Because that's the first one that you should be listening to before you listen to anybody else.
Batho ba se gona le sengwe se ke tleng ke ipotse sona gore batho ba bantsi ge ke ba utlweletse se se ka fa gare ga bona ke ba le kae. And one thing I love about you is that you listen to your instinct. Whatever you want to do, you do it. Go sa kgathaletse gore go diragalang mo tikologong eo le mo go yone, you just do it. So ke batla go tlhaloganya ka the topics tse o ka rang go di dira. Ke a ke lebelle ke utlwe batse di connecta le nna. Pese ka re o bua dilo tse a re lebeletse kgotsa a itse re marelese go is going through that. Before o etsa di topic, is there someone kgotsa gona le batho ba ba go bolela gore I'm going through this, then what's up from there? Or sometimes dilo tse di tla fela mo gone jaaka o bua gore your juices comes ga o le mo koding ya gago?
It usually starts with me just creating one piece of content, right? Which is something which is in my heart. And then the responses that come from people is what I pick up on, and then I create more content from there. Because when I speak about, for example, just yesterday I posted a video where I was talking about infertility not being a joke. To say you can't be saying, Leseho, you are 35, you don't have a kid, what are you waiting for? You don't know whether Leseho has infertility problems or they just don't want to have a child. So this is a very sensitive topic, right? So somebody will then come and say, I have a story to share about infertility. Then we do a live. My stuff is very relatable because most of the things that I speak about are things that we all know. I know that it's happening in every second or third household, but nobody's bold enough to talk about it, and I'm here for that.
O batla go bona go diragetseng ka batho ba basadi phesi jaaka ke bona kare ke bona ba leng close to your heart le se di tse gantsi bang ka tsona go bua ka batho ba basadi?
I want to see women live. I want to see women live because a lot of us think that dying in situations which are killing us but looking like a champion to the next person is the thing, and it is not. You deserve to live. I'm still going to quote in the Bible to say Christ did not die for you so that you can die for other people. Christ died for you so that you can live. You don't have to die another death in the place of Christ because the price has already been paid. So what I'm saying by that is that love yourself enough to know when something is deadly for you or not. Protect and safeguard your mental well-being. Make sure that when you draw a boundary, boundaries are very, very, very painful. They're painful for the person you're drawing them for. They're painful for you as well because sometimes you want people to cross the line because you love them and you don't want to hurt them. But if that boundary is going to kill you at the end of the day, then don't do it because they would rather have you alive even if they don't like you because of a boundary that you drew for them, instead of you doing something at the end of the day it's going to kill you and then you're going to die a dignified death because you compromised yourself for somebody who's going to continue living and go to your after tears, and after the after tears it's done. I want to see women live.
Leeto la gago perseverance ke itse fa gore you've been through divorce le tse dintse go tlileng mo tantso o di touch afala le go rutileng ka batho kgotsa ka lefatshe se leng gore wena o re nka se emisi until ke bona batho ba itsenetse?
You know what, I always say that there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. I believe that by the time my time on this earth is done, I would not have done everything that I want to do, but I would have started. I would like to say that I'm breaking new ground because I'm speaking on things that are in your mind, but you're not speaking about them. So that is me initiating and saying, the kids that are coming after me, you can take over from me. It is safe. I'm creating a safe space for every woman who's going to come after me to know that it is okay for them to not have kids if they don't want to have kids. It's okay for them not to want to get married if they don't want to get married. It's okay for them to say no if they don't want to say yes to something. I'm creating a safe space, not only for the women in this generation, but even for those who are coming after us.
Oh, yeah, ne. We try and can get perseverance a rattle. Haru Holamana Consamalo and at the Batsadi Babu. Ha namosetsa kira tse ke dirang o tlo nyala ke ma ke le ka utlwa ya ke tse ile mention somewhere gore gantsi rona bana ba ba setsana re feel that pleasure ya gore ga o dira so o nyala ke ma mara se ke utlwe motsadi a re ga o dira so o bereka kae sentence yo go tsaya yang fela
there's a lot of unlearning that we still need to do. I always give an example with my grandmother to say my grandmother knows no other thing besides marriage. So she can't relate to this new age woman that I am today. So meaning the only thing that makes sense to her is marriage. The only thing she can tell me is marriage. Because even today she still asks me, so because you understand? Because literally to them, all that the only language they understand is getting married. But we are way beyond that now. We've gone past that stage now. We're at a stage where we need to start unlearning all the things that we have learned. Because a lot of us, the problem we know the truth. But we don't want to tell other people. We say, meaning that all the teachings that we have learned, there are things that we can take from our parents, there are things that we must throw away. Not only should we throw them away for ourselves, but we should make sure that our kids never pick those things up. Those people who don't have people who can guide them or advise them, make sure they don't pick up these things from the streets. Because literally, listen, you can go make a baby because some mother down the road told you, you are old, marapati. You understand what I'm saying? So if we are vocal enough to say, listen, this is the new age, all the things that we were taught as kids to say, these are subconscious things that we are growing up with. We are like this, unfortunately, because they're not wrong, our parents, because that's what they know. They're teaching us what they know. They're giving us what they know. We can't blame them for giving us what they know, but we can take what we know that is right for us, and we know. I don't want to say we know better than them, but we are more knowledgeable now. We are more liberated now. This is not the cotton picking days. You don't have to be in the cotton picking days if you don't want. But if you still want that, you can do that for yourself. So there's a lot of unlearning that we need to do from all the stuff that we've been taught. And it can never be done in one day. It doesn't take one day to build up Rome, So it's not possible for us to think we can just snap our fingers and all of a sudden we forget about the fact that, listen, life is not all about marriage. But one day at a time, one seminar at a time, one camp at a time, we will do it.
Even myself, I'm learning a lot. Every time I bula your videos, I learn something. So kabakala nako. Ke nsa se ke code e feng go tsamaisang phetse e leng goreng ke itse batho ba le bantsi o ka se kgakala o sa ba le dibuka o sna your code o sa dire affirmations. There are things that you need to do gore o kgone go ka fitlhella for fitlheletseng for them.
Out of your belly, the Bible says out of your belly flows rivers of living waters. So what that means is that rivers of living waters are not coming in from Percy to Lesego. Rivers of living waters are already inside of Lesego. You don't need rivers of living waters from me. So you need to tap in that confidence in yourself. To say, I'm confident enough to know that the rivers of living waters that I need, the validation that I need, the love that I need to keep me going does not come from Percy, but it comes from inside of me.
Jenong Percy, dingwaga tse abile wena ka mokgosi yana ka teng ka lebelo. Nka se ka gore 5 years to come. Tla ke re solofela mo perseverance maremeni mo ngwaga mo o le mongwe fela o tla 2024. Yo, I want to see more camps. I want to see more women's conferences. I want to see more testimonials. I want to see. There's a lady who said to me the other day, somebody was doing an event and they were copying you. They were copying your dress. I'm like, the more the merrier. I want to see Madam Speaker multiplying the way Winnie Mandela multiplied. That's what I want. So in the next year, I want to see a multiplication, not only of what I'm doing and what I'm going to be doing, but of other people doing things which are similar to what I'm doing. And jaanong Percy gantsi ke ne ke atle go bua le batho ba basadi mme o boya le tlhakore la batho ba borre ke ntse batla so bona se diragetse mo batho ba borre.
I want the brothers to, because I think, you know what, I think a lot of our brothers suffer more or less the same things that we suffer in terms of seeking validations from society. Because a good man who takes care of his family is hard to find, but they're there. But usually a man who does that is considered style or whenever or when you are this, when you are that. But for a man to continue doing the right thing for his family, even if he's being called names, it means that person already understands that rivers of living waters flows from the inside of them. They don't seek validations from their friends for them to do the right thing by their family. I wish more men confidence in doing the right thing for them and not seeking validation from their friends, so that they do what they know that it is right, instead of seeking second-hand or third-hand information from other people.
And gantsi bile ke a tlhokega go tsa mama o tlhoile batho ba borre mang o tlhoile batho ba borre a ke tsela yena ya gore batho gongwe ga ba tlhaloganye gore ga ke re banna ba tlogele go ka buisa basadi for example ga se gore ke tlhoile batho ba borre ke re ke leka gore re baakanye selo se se diragala o nagana gore phesi gore banna ba nne ka mokgwa ba nnang ka teng ke itse gore we are not expert mara gore banna ba dire ka mokgwa ba dirang ka teng le dilo tse ba di dirang mo bathong ba basadi ke eng se se dirang a o dumela gore gongwe the root of the problem ke gore kgolo ya banna nako nngwe kgotsa ka mokgwa ba rutilweng ka teng go contribute
listen, for men are wounded and because baba rutilwe monna ke nku lela ka teng they don't want to cry out loud because rena basadi I don't know how many times I've had people saying to me you must heal but when you look at that person 2 days down the line they kill themselves, meaning that who needs more healing between me and them? So men are wounded but they've been taught that they must keep it on the inside. So because they've been taught to keep it on the inside and they've been taught to wear a mask and front a lot, so because they front a lot you would think they have it all together but they don't, you know. I actually that's why I said in the beginning that I feel more sorry, and it doesn't shake me to find a man who calls me names or throws tantrums at me, because tantrums are actually not misdirected, especially if you're not ready to deal with your reality or accept the situation at hand. If I'm saying to you right now, listen, I'm going to apply spirit on your wound because when you have childhood traumas and childhood whatever issues that you've never dealt with, you're not going to like me because you're not ready to deal with your wounds. You're just going to try and find other solutions to make sure that at least it doesn't feel the pain. But the minute somebody comes, get bandage, how dare you? Who do you think you are? So that's what I am to them, and it's okay. I understand when they have to kick and scream. It is not misdirected. Yeah.
And Pesi, because I can make an example. There were times then ha motho a tla go nna wena bontsholo o le angry angry I'm a child of God.
Yes,
I love God. I always smile. I'm always happy until ke ya to a psychologist. I'm bontsha dilo tse ding ke bona gore oh man let's say there's something man so sa se bakanyang ka bophelo ba gago. That's why ke rata perseverance marameng go gore I see you as a woman. I listened to your video wale rebone. And the way I shared the story there are batho ba bang ba ka mona ba re yo monna ga go mo reketse koloi bona everything it's okay mare gona le sengwe se leng gore se a diragala. So I think perseverance maremeni o tle go fodisa batho ba bang ba ileng gore they are ready.
Yes, to be very important.
Because sometimes I get
it's very important to understand what there are people who are ready and there are those who are not ready. There are those who will be ready in the next 10 years who will then come back and binge watch on my videos and they will always be there. But for those who are not ready, I understand the tantrums.
Yeah. Perseverance mo letsa ga go bo felo ko ba retsi ba Waterberg FM le gore gongwe ga ba batla go mo maele ke a bona go sotsole a big brand jana nka se fetse bua gore ya big brand ba ka dira ka tsela ma.
Okay, so I have on my Facebook and Instagram page I have a number up. I have a PA. Her name is Kanye. She's doing an excellent job. I mean, I believe you hooked up with her. Kanye, I'm speaking to people who would like to get a hold of me. Otherwise, in general, on social media, I'm very much available. I'm such a social butterfly. Yeah.
And really, ke ba tlo fetsa ba re ba tsamaisi ba tla ka ba nkokotela. Phesi ke bone fa o dirile video engwe ya o buisana le prophet.
Yeah.
Gona le batho ba sentseng ba ka bitsa perseverance maremedi go tla ko kerekeng a tle go bua gongwe le phuthego kgotsa perseverance ya ka o bua jalo you are a church dropout. A go sentse gona le chance e ke batla go tlhaloganya kgannyo ya gore church dropout.
You know what? The Bible says your relationship with your God should be personal.
Yeah.
We don't understand that as Christians in most cases. And then now the thing is, even when I was still a church, not dropout, when I was still hands-on in church, I was a troublesome church member, you know, because I used to be very vocal. I was one who, when we are having a meeting and you are telling us, or don't do this, don't do that, I would raise my hand and say, but Mam Ruti was doing the same thing. What do you say about that? No, but Mam Ruti is... And then I say, what do the commandments say? I was that problem, even at the church. You understand what I'm saying? And there's still people, by long order, they invite me to churches. There are people who... There's one lady, Penny, who's a prophet. She always says to me, listen, you are called for the pulpit, but your pulpit is not in the church. That's why you're doing the dirty work at the camps. Because you're doing the work where people don't want the work to be done. I always say, check on your pastor's wives, check on your first lady of your church. She's in the psychiatric ward. If you go to a psychiatric ward, that's where healing needs to take place, because that's where people are struggling a lot. Because at the churches we front a lot. At the churches we pretend a lot, because we want people who are they're not Christians to come in. And that's why the Bible says judgment will start in the church, because that's where nobody's going. Because there we are acting remote generations, and I always speak about it openly to say, listen, you can't tell me about pretending. I know how to pretend and cry there in the front when I'm crying as if the Holy Spirit has descended upon me, when I know very well I'm crying because my bank balance is on the other direction. Yeah.
But re say this thing ya go ya di psychologist therapy re tse gore ke ya batho ba sia na re ditsene. What are you saying about
especially excuse me, especially men, you know, the very same people who know, instead of them taking accountability, they would say, we're not perseverance, you must heal, you are bitter, you are this. The very same people, they will never sit at the couch go senior psychologist, because they say when you sit there you are crazy. They would rather send you to a psychiatric ward, and then when you get there they say the reason, you see, it's not my problem, that woman is just a mad woman. You understand what I'm saying? There's absolutely nothing wrong with therapy. Therapy is as healthy as brushing your teeth every day, and you should not be ashamed for therapy. And I feel like a lot of my brothers should attend that therapy. It's a thing, okay? Therapy is a thing.
Perseverance ke lebogile thata tle di dintsi dipotso tse nka go botsang tsona, mara ke lebogile nako re
tshwara fela ke fetse
mara ke lebogile thata for nako re fileng yona. Ke solofela gore gona le moreetsi mongwe a tsoreng sengwe mo mafokong mo thotloetsong mo re fileng le matsatsi le gompieno. Tsolela pele go ka nna wetse ke nna lady o le mo o leng yona. Tsolela pele o dire phapang mo nageng ya rona Africa Borwa. Bona re go bona fa kwa America o tshwere di stage o tshwana le jalo bo Jess Meyer bo Sarah Jakes Roberts.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.